patriotic summer. Ain't no lefties in this party, girl. I bring the war. It's just red hot this summer, shake 'em all. Shake 'em all. This is red hot this summer, shake 'em all. Shake 'em all. This red hot this summer, yeah. It's a red hot summer in the daytime. You know it's lit. Yeah. If a commie want a problem, I can spray mine.
What is up, Facebook and YouTube gang? Today is going to be a fun day. I'm going to have fun talking about all this because I knew this was going to happen. I knew they were going to use this situation to agitate an already agitated race. Or let me not even say race because people will probably get offended by that. We'll say demographic, community. I'll even use your words. A marginalized community. All right? Joe Biden flip-flops, BLM flip-flops, mainstream media flip-flops, the White House flip-flop. All that's going on is a flip-flop, whatever suits us best to push an agenda. Just fair warning, Ahmaud Arbery, watch what I tell you, man. They're already labeling this racial. I don't see anything racial about it, but this case, Kyle Rittenhouse being found not guilty, we all knew it was going to happen, is going to fan the flames of the race war that died down after the election season. And before we start, I'm going to play a video that Joe Biden posted to his Twitter. His Twitter during his election season before he was president. And then we're going to play a video of a statement that he made after the trial. And then we're going to show you the White House statement that they put out. Okay? This is why this show is called Inconsistency, because there's never any consistency. Not with COVID, not with this stuff, not with anything in the country. We can't even get together gender. You know, they pick and choose when science is relevant. I've just had enough. Here we go. Welcome, guys. They don't need a welcome message. You're not guests.
We're white people. We don't get welcome messages.
He said you're white people. Yo, you're gonna get me kicked off the fucking internet. Yeah, blah blah blah. Come on.
We're the token white people. We're just here. We're just here
to condemn white supremacists.
That was bad. You said white supremacists. That's what they're gonna be like. Look, she's got those token white people because they're white supremacists and they help feed her narrative. I'm telling you, man. People are gonna.
Is this a bad time to say hashtag Kyle won?
I don't care. It's whatever. This is Make America Think Again. We are transcending racial barriers. It doesn't matter what color you are.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Can we go back? Can we go back? This was posted to Biden's Twitter.
In Kenosha.
Who is that? Oh, so this is what we're doing.
And as we've seen in Portland.
Sure,
are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do
specifically
that,
do it? Well,
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
white supremacists.
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by.
This is a video that Biden put out. I'm not going to play it all because it's slapped me for copyrights, but this is what Biden said in 2020. Okay. This was when did Kenosha happen? Wasn't it in March?
When did I want to say August?
August?
It was August
September.
26th.
It was
August
September
26th.
30th. Okay.
Yeah.
It was September 30th when they put this out. Now let's look at his sentiments on this in 2021 when he's president. This was effing hilarious.
25th. There we go.
I stand by what the jury has concluded. The jury system works, and we have to abide by it.
Mr. President, what is the state of your health, sir? What is the state of your health after this exam today?
Bro,
Good.
why did they just ignore what he said? I'm going to stand behind what the jury said. And they're like, Mr. President, what is your health like? Did you poop on yourself today?
Well, no, he didn't. He had a colonoscopy, so he is free of all of that stuff right now.
Oh, so he just loose. Man. So you know what? Just not to get off topic, but this can be another episode. He relinquished his powers to Kamala while he went under this. So who's to say that he ever got it back?
He did. It was announced today. It was announced early on.
I don't believe
a lot of people.
The White House lies.
Well, this is true, but if they released a press statement, but if you want to speculate with that, that's cool. But yeah, he took power back at supposedly per media at 10:20 a.m. my time, Mountain Time.
We'll see. I'll be watching this. I'm gonna be a conspiracy theorist for a little bit and say that Kamala's president. We just don't know it.
Well, the next thing you're going to pull up after this video is going to show like he's not in control anyways. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to play the rest of it so everybody can see.
They're going to release all the details. I feel great. Nothing's changed. We're in good shape. And so, I'm looking forward to celebrating my 58th birthday. So look, I stand by what the jury has concluded. The jury system works, and we have to abide by it.
Mr. President, what is the state of your health, sir? What is the state of your health after this exam today?
Good. They're going to release all the details. I feel great. Nothing's changed. We're in good shape. And so, I'm looking forward to celebrating my 58th birthday.
Bro.
Well, look, I stand by what the jury has.
He's turning 58, guys.
Well, I mean, he did adopt, the great spirit of Sagil Page. So, he's just a young man at heart is really what's going on here.
Joe Biden is struggling, man.
I honestly think that 58 was a joke. I don't see him taking that one serious, but it's still funny to think about. Because out of everything we've seen him mumble through, yeah, we could see him literally saying that, but that one thing I can actually believe he really was joking about saying 58, even though we all want to be like,
crack a joke. I think he forgot.
Oh gosh.
Hold on, there will be a clarifying statement to come out here pretty soon.
There will be, because this was a clarifying statement.
Will correct the record.
The White House could not take that he said, I stand behind what the jury said. They had to come behind him and put out a press release. And they said, while the verdict in Kenosha will leave many Americans feeling angry and concerned, myself included. You didn't say that in the live interview, guy, but whatever. We must acknowledge that the jury has spoken. I ran on a promise to bring Americans together because I believe that what unites us is far greater than what divides us. I know we're not going to heal our country's wounds overnight, but I will remain steadfast in my commitment to do everything in my power to ensure that every American is treated equally with fairness, dignity, and dignity under the law. So I'm going to play a few other news clips that came out right after this. What I'm not understanding, and you guys probably won't understand either, but for the audience and the people that will tune in that don't necessarily agree with the verdict, why should anybody feel angry when Kenosha Kid literally got rid of trash? And I don't have no problem saying what it is. I think that people who commit crimes against children, not once, not twice, not 3, not 4, but 5 times, and they have a habit of doing it, abuse to women, there's no reason for you to be here wreaking havoc, and we shouldn't be wasting our tax dollars putting you up in a jail cell.
Yeah, and that's 100% it. Like this is also the same thing the White House did when I posted it. I don't remember what platform, because I don't remember when I can post and when I can't. But it was about the $425,000 that they wanted to give to the illegal immigrants coming into the country. And Joe Biden said on TV live during, I think it was his town hall or something, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not supporting it. And then Not even an hour later, the White House issues a statement apologizing. Joe Biden actually does support it, but not at the $425,000. It might just be less.
Come on, man.
Then they
Come
settled
on,
on
man.
450, right?
I'm going to Mexico, and then I'm coming back to collect my money. So
I think you have to renounce your citizenship first.
You do.
But
You can't do that.
I don't care. They prove that they're not citizens.
Well, you know what? Look, in your favor, Casey, they're providing, and because we could go on a ton of different directions with this topic, but we're going to stay on topic. But just to bring it up, because we're probably going to be talking about these in other matter shows or Truth to Set You Free. They are trying to provide a easy pathway for illegal immigrants to become permanent. So even if you did want to go to Mexico, you could definitely come back and have a permanent citizenship here. So you could be American again, even when you renounce it. Sounds amazing, right?
Go. Yeah. I want my 40 acres and a mule.
You want your 40 acres and a mule. Man, I'm still trying to find mine. I don't think it exists. But while I was reading and going through what the media was saying after Joe Biden spoke, I could not help but I don't like being right. Just in case people wondered that about me. There are a lot of times where I want to be wrong and things just don't go the way I say they're going to go. But like we did on the other show, we got to stop fanning the flames of, race wars or tensions between race because, yo, I forgot about Velveeta. Anyways, the media is fanning the flames. They are still going along with their lies, saying that the jury finds a killer at BLM rally not guilty. He was not at a BLM rally. All right. These were just criminals. I want to say it was, look, they're predominantly white. We're going to use race for 2 seconds. Okay. Predominantly white. More than anything, Antifa is out there causing and wreaking havoc. I'm not taking away any blame from BLM because they're definitely to blame for a lot of this destruction that went on in the country. But we got to give Antifa the credit for what they do. They're destructive humans. But look at what the media is drumming up.
We are joined by two experts who know the field, Rutgers professor Brittany Cooper and Brittany Packnett.
Now, mind you, this lady right here, do you guys remember on Oprah where she said diets were racist against Black women? This is who this is. I just want to point that out.
Cunningham, an activist and former member of President Obama's police task force. To Ms. Packnett, Cunningham first, your thoughts on what it means for a jury to co-sign this and the point I raise about what the rest of us have left to do.
Oh, goodness. I mean, where to begin, to be honest. The co-signing of the idea that this was self-defense is really by design, right? We watched the judge really set this up from the very beginning. And of course, that argument of self-defense was both to protect Kyle Rittenhouse, but it was also to give his supporters and people who think like him a lot of cover.
So she's talking about every American who has to defend himself in a life or death situation. I'm going to provide context because they won't. They're going to fan the flames of this is about race. He was at a BLM rally. He killed 3 men that were there supporting Black lives because he's a racist. They will not say the truth. They will not say the truth. And this is absolutely true. He was an Obama pick. So what are you talking about? Like, what planet do they live on?
The thing that's pathetic is everybody. Russo did a little live earlier today about it, and I might do something if something doesn't pop off with the gatherings that are happening right now. But it's ignorance, complete ignorance of the process. There has been so many people posting on Twitter that they didn't even know this. They were white until Gage Grosskreutz took the stand. And they're like, wait, what? He's white? Yes, he's white. The one Black guy, which is called Jumpman in the trial, I can't remember his real name because it got released yesterday. And Jumpman kicked him in the face And he has a very colorful record, just like the other three. And he got lucky because Kyle Rittenhouse missed when he shot at him. And so it's complete ignorance when it comes to this stuff. Like, you can't tell me this is not self-defense if you haven't watched the videos. As soon as you watch the videos, you will see everything coming about. He only fired at the people that were trying to, the people that were a threat to him. You guys are stupid. You are the same people as the prosecutors trying to say, oh, full metal jackets are meant to pierce armor. Well, kind of. Don't be stupid.
Oh, let's play a little bit more.
I've been seeing today a lot of people using that cover to say, well, self-defense is not white supremacy. You're right. Self-defense on its face is not white supremacy. But traveling across state lines with an AR-15.
Lies. He did not travel across state lines with an AR-15. It was given to him after he was there.
Yes.
I'm only doing this show because I want to show inconsistencies. I want to show what they do after the fact, how they're going to fan flames, how this is going to start another race problem between black and white people. And later in the show, we'll show you how Asians are going to be introduced to this whole narrative. They cannot we cannot cool down from one incident and think about what happened without them throwing something else into the mix. I've been posting all week what they've been doing. They're trying to pass the reconciliation, all right? And they're getting close to passing that. The FBI is using counterterrorism measures on parents fighting against CRT. Ridiculous things that they're doing behind the scenes because we're all consumed with Kyle Rittenhouse. And now there's going to be another topic that consumes everybody. This is white supremacy. He was white. They had a BLM rally. This is not fair. I'm telling you, this is going to be for weeks because Ahmaud Arbery's case is still going on as we know it. And they're going to use white supremacy there as well.
Right. Yeah, but honestly, these are tales of two stories, right? I do back Ahmaud Arbery in his case. I don't think lethal force was necessary.
Of course.
You can't tell me a self-defense claim makes sense when it's 2 versus 1. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And so I think we're going to see a flip here, but you're still going to see people get upset because they're going to be let off a little bit because of some of the laws that they have in Alabama. But I still believe they should be charged with something. Absolutely.
They should. I think my main concern is people are going to say this was racist with absolutely no proof.
Yeah.
So can I?
Two men are white.
I just jump in real quick and say this is one of the things that I heard, and I think it was on MSNBC today. And it might have been this lady. She said something to the tune of, the issue is that he was at a party he was not invited to.
What?
Yeah. Like I mean, I'm not sure it was one of these ladies, but it was somebody who was talking in that same sentiment of, this is racial because he was at a party he was not invited to.
Wow.
Like that was the literal logic that was used. And I thought to myself, well, I don't get invited to a lot of cookouts, but I mean, I thought riot season was open. It was open for everybody.
Everybody. I mean, that's funny that you say that because 3 white men that were there. Why were they invited? What were they doing there? There was a dumpster fire that Kyle put out. They were causing violence and wreaking freaking havoc, man.
Does this not fit exactly with what we were kind of talking about the other night about the communities saying you can't participate unless you participate in the way I tell you how to participate?
Yep.
Does that not fit in just beautifully with that?
This is crazy, man. Let's play a little bit more of this.
To intimidate people is absolutely white supremacy. We know that this face is not white supremacy, but traveling across state lines with an AR-15 to intimidate people is absolutely white supremacy.
So you can commit white supremacy against white people being white. And just for the record, he's half Hispanic.
I prefer to be called a cracker.
Can you make this make sense?
Rittenhouse is half Hispanic?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
And I'm gonna
I
say
learned that
something.
yesterday.
Look, I'm gonna play it again, and then I'm gonna say, I think everybody knows where I'm gonna go with this. This is just another example.
Say, well, self-defense is not white supremacy. You're right. Self-defense on its face is not white supremacy. But traveling across state lines with an AR-15 to intimidate people is absolutely white supremacy.
This is why I say repeal the 19th. It's white supremacy because you over there trying to intimidate other white people, and that's using you. You're using your white supremacy on other white people while being half Hispanic. What? Give me your mic. You don't need to be on any type of mainstream media talking to anybody.
Not to mention, this is the news network that had paid their producer to go follow the jury van around and ran a red light, got pulled over, got caught, and then got banned from being in the courtroom because they're a bunch of idiots. So yes,
MSNBC
they all deserve to be on this stage right now.
They said he was a freelancer.
No, it turns out he's a producer. Idiots.
Sunni, I gotta ask you. You gotta bump your mic up just a touch. You quiet a little bit.
No, we can hear you. You're a little bit quieter than normal.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why. Wait, maybe my mic is turned down.
I think it is just a touch.
You're still okay. We can still hear you. It's
okay,
just
cool.
Yeah.
I cannot play. Look, I'm gonna play probably like another minute of this, bro. But I need to hear the lady who says diets are racist. I want to hear what she's got to say. 'Cause she's probably gonna drop the freaking mic.
We know what this is. He traveled to a place where Black people and our allies were protesting for the dignity of Black life.
Where were the Black people there?
And allies? Like what the fuck? Are we going to war? You can't say peers or our group, our supporters. You have to say fucking allies?
Yes. Repeal the 19th, man. Where are the men? Like, where's your daddy? Somebody, where your husband at? Dang. Come take the mic from this lady.
I guarantee you she's gonna say she's gonna say that the guys are not good enough for her.
If this is the clip, I think this might be the part at which she says this is a party you weren't invited to. This may exactly be it.
Wow, hold on.
And because he took issue with that, he decided to grab an assault rifle, and now 2 people are dead and 1 is permanently disabled. Let's be clear, that's not property damage. That's death and dismemberment. Black people and anybody who knows American history in this country know what white domestic terrorism looks like. Its function is to intimidate. When Ku Klux Klanners burned crosses, it wasn't to keep warm. It was to intimidate everyone who saw the flames from miles away. When white armed men went and marched in Charlottesville, it was not a family reunion. It was to strike fear in the hearts of anybody who would not bend to their dominance. So make no mistake about what Kyle Rittenhouse was doing there. He was the aggressor. Make no mistake about what the officers who let him walk by with that AR-15 visible.
Because they're trying to, they got a whole, you're making me stutter. There's
She's
a
pissing me
whole
off.
other, like look, this is what it is, okay? They're mostly peaceful protests, and there's a fire burning behind you, and people running around with their heads cut off like chickens. Like, what are you talking about? A lot of officers probably would have let anybody walk by because they have other shit to handle. Like, what are you talking about?
See, the part that's driving me nuts about her, she has the Kamala Harris nod. When she's saying shit that doesn't make any fucking sense, she's nodding to get you to agree to it.
What's this? Oh gosh. To help play with this dialogue, though I disagree with the correspondent's position, she's alleging that white supremacy is being shown because Kyle allegedly knew that he wouldn't be punished because of his perceived whiteness. While I fully disagree, it is important to know the position of others. What?
Well, he's just saying he's elaborating her position, even though he disagrees. He's just providing context on her position. Is all
Well,
he's
we
doing.
know it. Like, she said it.
Yeah.
How many times did she say whiteness and white supremacy? That's obvious.
And
Yeah.
can I just ask a question to Adrian real quick? And this is not, I truly am trying to understand. If it's an incoherent argument, isn't that an argument we ignore? I mean, why do we have to understand what she's saying if what she's saying doesn't make sense?
Because
And I don't mean that in a hostile way. I genuinely mean, shouldn't we at some point stop giving air to these people that are making these, to your point, incoherent arguments?
I agree with you, but I also disagree with you. So I agree with you in the sense that she shouldn't have this stage on this network to do this. However, she should actually be able, we should, when we're going into having conversations with people, we need to actually understand to try to be able to educate them and allow a civil conversation. And that's where part of it comes in, why you can't say, I just ignore you, right? But I do agree in the stance of she should not be on MSNBC. No, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
And it's just a genuine question as to, like, where do we put our attention, right? Because, one of the things that I think Sunni's big on right now and I'm aware of is, there's a lot of distraction. And if we're going to give people attention, understanding where they're coming from, if it's incoherent, again, we're talking about feelings over facts again. And it's just a genuine question is, when do we stop giving air to the argument of incoherent argument?
Yeah, that's why I gave the layman's breakdown. He's half Hispanic who killed other white people, and you're saying he used his half Hispanic heritage, okay, his whiteness to get out of jail free card? Come on, man. This lady is full of crap. When is the big lady gonna talk? I want to hear what she got to say.
I think this is Lunchbox's girlfriend.
About making sure that white supremacy maintains its cover to terrorize and intimidate.
Shut up.
The rest of us.
I would love for them to apply this to the Black community, but I'm going to shut up.
Professor?
The depths of my rage today are almost uncontainable. I don't know how much brazen hypocrisy we are supposed to take in the name of the law. We live in a country that said that slavery was legal, that said that lynching was legal, that said that segregation was legal. And today we are being asked to say that it is legal
Keyword
and
was.
to respect the rule of law because a white boy deputized himself and went out and terrorized people who were actually, using their constitutional right to protest.
What? Hold on.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I'm going to get a stamp that I throw up every time these people say, a woman, bro, repeal the 19th. This is an example why these women take their ridiculous thought patterns into voting booths. Okay? They're so stuck in the 50s and they can't even. This makes me angry as a Black woman because we're not there anymore. So why are you trying to dredge that up and bring it back to appeal to feelings, man? Like, what are you talking about? He didn't even kill Black people. What is lynching? What does any of that got to do with anything? Anybody?
Nothing. It's just to try to get people all riled up. It's the same thing. It's just freaking ridiculous. Everything she said was wrong. Everything.
She opened her mouth. I had high hopes for you, but you just proved me right.
It's incredible to me the liberties that the media has taken to just completely. I mean, like, they could just take the testimony that was given inside the courtroom, and they could just play that part, and people would have a fundamental different understanding. And instead, what they do is they're allowing these people to come on and just completely misrepresent facts. and then they're like, and it's because of race. Like, it's an add-on sentence to everything that happens.
Man, so listen, this all started with the commander in chief. Okay, he said, "I support the jury's decision," and then the White House had to come out after him and say, "Well, we support it, but I'm very angered and concerned." And then you got mainstream media who's going to come behind that, parrot it, and then add racial aspects to it. I'm trying to show you how it trickles down from the head, man. They do this on purpose for you to react. For people who are surface level thinkers that can't see past sometimes their own asshole. I wish they could, but they're not capable. And it's a grave disservice to the rest of the people in this country who have to exist with people who don't think. You don't use your brain. Where could you ever pull white supremacy from this entire case? Like, seriously, I want people to just go back and look at it. I've been going back and forth with people on Instagram. I even got blocked by a blue check mark. A celebrity blocked me because they didn't like what I was saying. I'm just so enraged by this this verdict. And I said, why? Well, you're missing the illegal aspect of it. He didn't even get charged with carrying a gun. I'm like, yeah, you don't even know the facts of the case. Tell me how this is white supremacy. They couldn't. So instead of carrying dialogue with me, they said block, because I don't want to hear any other alternative thought.
It's sad on how many people are uneducated on this trial, but they have so many comments about it. If you watch the trial from start to finish, I've had this conversation with family members, many other people over during this trial, and if you actually watched it and watched the evidence provided, there is no way you can come up with anything other than a self-defense claim. Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, even if they wanted to try and find him guilty, they would have to doctor something up or just completely lie.
They messed with videos, and they gave a video that was very poor quality to the defense, so the defense could review that. And then they got the HD video just before they had to talk about it in court. And so they tried to do shady stuff like that.
I've seen that. You're right.
So
it still failed because this is a cold cut case. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So no, my bad. I pulled this up because this is, in school we learn a lot about Martin Luther King. We learn a little bit about Malcolm X, but particularly towards the end of his, towards the end of his life in the civil rights movement and that kind of stuff, he really had a what I would call an awakening. And this quote right here is one of his most famous quotes, and yet it gets almost no credence. And this is exactly what I feel like is happening right now. It's our government really has failed us, and it really has been. I mean, if we're talking about it in pragmatic senses, our president today, he comes out and makes a statement, and then the White House corrects it, and it is white liberals who have been at these rallies and riots. They are the ones that have kind of have taken things, a notch above. To not understand this quote by Malcolm X is one of the most tragic things that can ever happen. So I just pulled that up really quickly because this is a perfect example of the white liberal, whatever that is today, taking full advantage of whatever minority communities they can. And although Malcolm X is specifically talking about his community, this has now become every community that has a phone in their hands that does not take the chance to, in my opinion, to pick it up and use it for knowledge. I mean, like, all of the information that you need in order to draw your own conclusion about what's going on right now is right there in your hands. It's total ignorance, and it's participating ignorance that has gotten us to this point where people can't even, they can't even look at the court case and look at the evidence and draw conclusions on facts. They're still running with narratives that are so they're so broken. They don't even realize what they're saying is untrue. So it's a really sad thing for me. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was applicable in this circumstance.
I mean, it makes sense. Those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. And if you don't know about the very influential people who, regardless of race, spoke out for truth and they painted an adversary, which has always been the shadow government that is operating in America, we're doomed, man. We're doomed. And then another idiot decided to open his mouth and speak on something he has no idea about because he couldn't even differentiate a regular rope from a goddamn noose. And he's speaking on it. Why are you piping up again? Like, you've been quiet this whole time. You ain't been saying nothing. And once
Shut up and drive, Bubba. Shut up and drive.
Laura Ingram's look, she's going to be famous for that forever. Shut up and dribble, LeBron.
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace spoke out and he said, "Ha, let this boy be black," and it would have been life. Hell, he would have had his life taken before the bullshit trial. Sad. And this is going to segue into a topic that I'm going to be covering because police were definitely wrong in this instance. They took a life when a person has his hands up. This would be a case that I would get behind with BLM if they ever had it for a black person or whoever else they decide to get behind. Benjamin Crump took this case on. I'm not surprised. But this narrative that's being painted, which is black men are always killed by cops no matter what they do, they're deemed a threat, I think is crap because it's happening to every race. And it actually happened to this young man. His name is Christian Hall. I don't know if you guys heard about this story. It happened in December 2020. Really didn't get much airtime. I'm not surprised because it takes away from the narrative that's being painted. But I'm going to play this video and we're going to lightly touch on this subject and I will bring it back on Monday. Actually, I will bring it back on Wednesday because I added an extra day to matter. I'll bring this back on Wednesday after I have gone through the details of it and we'll be able to present it to you from a common sense approach. But Bubba Wallace is painting a false narrative that black people don't live or black men, black boys don't live when it comes to police, man. This is crazy. Oh, what's up, man? I like this dude. He's a very smart guy. He's been on shows with me like a while ago. He said, "Funny, I haven't seen not one RIP post from black people for the white man who protested with them. Instead, I've seen RIP Young Dolph all on my timeline. Trust me, I've seen it too." These white people were disposable to black folks because they're like, "Oh, you were here supporting us? And this half Hispanic guy decided to kill you? Oh, we're going to make this racial and say you came here to kill them because they were helping black folks." He's a brown person, guys. Like, hello.
Yeah, it's this one, it bothers me.
This one is actually really, really sad. This happened in Pennsylvania. State troopers, his name is Christian Hall. Start hashtagging that so more people can become aware of this story and not allow mainstream media to paint a different narrative. Don't allow them to do it. Educate yourself.
Did you shoot? Baby, open your door.
Oh my God!
They didn't shoot him.
Yes, they did.
Sorry, they did shoot him.
Did they just shoot? Baby, open your door.
Oh my God!
They didn't.
In this instance, this young man had his hands up. They were called out for a mental disturbance call. He was talking about committing suicide. He did have a weapon, but at some point he dropped it and he put his hands up. This is what I've read according to some of the news stories. I read about 3 or 4 of them, briefly went over them. I would love to know why they shot him. His hands are up. Like, what? At what point are you a threat when your hands are like this? Like, what do you want him to do?
That's the first time I've seen that video, and just predicated off what you're saying, I'm that's pretty disgusting. I think body cam footage will probably
There's
tell
an there's an
a more full
unredacted
story.
version, and we'll get that out. I have to find the unredacted version, but there's an unredacted version that shows this entire interaction. And the family has been fighting for a year for police to even release this. They wouldn't release the body cam footage. Why not?
Well, because they made a fucked up call. Like he was not a threat. Per that video, he was not a threat. There was something else going on that we can't see, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But I highly doubt it. He's standing there with his hands in the air. So what kind of threat is he? And they are shooting from a distance. They are not right in that picture. And that's a good 20, 30 feet in front of him. So they're shooting at a distance.
Yeah, you can't even see where they're shooting from in that video,
No.
which in and of itself, like just again, as since we talk about gun safety occasionally, I'm just going to tell you, if you're shooting a handgun at that distance,
well, that's why there were so many shots fired. You have to be a skilled handgun handler to be able to hit perfectly like that.
Yeah, and most police are not trained to shoot, at target distances, and so I have concerns about what happened to those other bullets too, as well. So it's a problematic situation all around.
Here's a different angle. All right, for people saying be careful, I don't get on here and speak on something that I already haven't looked at in detail. His hands are up.
Well, in the video, it clearly shows it. His hands come down, and that's why when I first reviewed it before we went live, I was like, hang on, I got to hear. Did gunshots come out before his hands went down? And yes, they did. And so they must have missed, and then they finally clipped him on a side, and he put his hands down because he's hurting, because he got shot. But this is not acceptable by what I know right now. Not acceptable.
Right. Not at all. And I'm not prescribing guilt, but what I am saying is this is an instance where we should all be looking and trying to figure out what happened. Because in the case where it's a black man shot, we are so quick to try to disprove it. And I'm not saying it has anything to do with race, but we usually know you're not exactly telling the truth. We want the whole story. It's been almost a full year since this came out. I want to know exactly what happened. And from the clips that I've seen, the photos, his hands are up.
Yeah, I just on face value, that's
it's wild.
Almost a non sequitur. I need to see more. But just on face value, that is about as bad as it gets. Yeah.
You support Kyle Rittenhouse. You're a white supremacist. You can't come out on this and say that this is not right.
To be fair, the verdict in my mind was very just. So if that makes me a bad person, I'm labeled. But that being said, I am awake and not woke.
Shameless plug. I need to find this video. It's like eluding me. MSN has taken it down. I wonder why that is. Well, guys, I just wanted to come on here and talk about the inconsistencies that our country is dealing with, to tell you how to spot it. It's not hard to spot an inconsistency when you know what the media is going to do, when you know what your government is capable of, and the already crazy social atmosphere that we're in. It hasn't been a lot of race wars going on. Hasn't been a lot of fighting between black and white people. So that they're calming down. Let's drum this back up. This is actually a tactic of the Nazis. Famous guy named Joseph Goebbels. I did a whole series on him damn near a year ago, and I talked about what they were doing. So be vigilant, pay attention, and prepare for what's coming next, because you're going to be in for another race battle.
Can we pull up Joyce's comment? Joyce's comment, yes. The second one. Joyce, we already talked about this a little bit before we went live. They're going to pull this in. Remember Asian hate? Stop Asian hate. That's what they're going to do. Is they're going to try to bring in Asian hate again with this video. And so it just hasn't caught wind yet. Hasn't got enough And I'm in support for people to protest this one. I'm in support by what I can see so far. And but I'm not in support of you going and destroying a city over it. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't solve any problems. But BLM will catch on to this. I guarantee you. It will be spread throughout. It's going to happen.
Any idea? I am, just gonna throw this out there. Any idea what the race of the officer was that shot? I didn't see it in the video.
Suni's picture showed like 4 or 5 officers, so I bet you we don't even know which one did it, and they all looked white. So.
And they're all white. I can't even.
That's what it looked like to me. I just asked because that narrative of black versus Asian has been real tight, right? And anyways, just a question, general question.
Yeah, they all look white.
Yeah, that's white boy crowd.
It seems like it. There might be one guy in there that could be more of a darker skin.
They might try to use him and be like, "We're not racist." Like, no, let me stop.
Yeah, we won't know who shot. There's too many people there that fired. There was too many bullets fired, so we won't know who actually did it.
What is a race? He was Asian. He actually looks biracial. His father looks black and his mother's Asian. Some sort of Asian descent. So just be prepared. Get the facts of the story. Don't react. Me personally, I don't give people the satisfaction. I come with facts and then they usually rage quit and they don't want to talk to me. Per getting blocked by. It's funny when celebrities block you. Like, are you serious? You were like legit reading my comments and now you felt enough to like block me. Whatever. But thanks for tuning in to this Meta episode. We'll be back Monday. And on Monday, I have a special guest. His name is Julius. He's out in Cali. He has been covering a lot of what's been going on with the election and the COVID protests out in California where they're protesting for their freedoms. We're going to talk about Fauci and how Fauci literally just told the entire country what we have been saying about vaccinated people since day one. How many people were censored on the internet for talking about this? I know I was. Be the change. And then Fauci comes out and says it, and it's like, oh, it's okay to talk about now. But you know what the catch was? Well, these were vaccinations that haven't been boosted.
I want to booster Fauci and send him to the moon.
A lot of people do. I would kill to be in the ring with him, just like.
That's elder abuse, okay?
Damn. You had to throw that in there. Damn.
Had to.
Thank you guys. We're out of here.
Yeah.